What is Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club? And how are we going to win at entrepreneurship using some items that we might already have around our house? What is this? Everybody meet Sully. He's the monster who did a turnaround of Monsters Incorporated. He pivoted the business model to go from scaring to caring. Are we now winning at entrepreneurship? Why? Because we're slapping a stuffed animal into it and making it slay. Are these jokes? I'm glad you think that I'm funny, but what's more important is what? That we're able to do a entrepreneurship exercise by slapping an animal onto it and then making it win. What's winning about this animal? It's a starfish that brand activates Larry Chang Mining and Management accounting software for mining. Why do I say mining twice? Because what they don't teach at Y Combinator is the fact that most people have zero attention span. So you have to say things twice to people, kind of like my stand up comedy, where it's required to hear my jokes twice before you learn what it means. Then you hear the punchline, and then you're like, oh my God, I did laugh. That was funny. But you also learn something. That's entrepreneurship with Hot Girls Entrepreneurship Club expanding on a prior. So we're going to take a prior thing and get better from it. What is this? This is live action business case study 1459. This is how we want to take notes. Is we want to be able to take notes where we summarize and encapsulate it in a picture. Because what they don't teach you at Y Combinator is, can you properly take notes to connect one concept to other concepts where they all come into a perfect three-way. Now, if you've ever been in a three-way, you'll realize that they're all less than perfect. Kind of like this three-way stream. This three-way stream is not perfect, but guess what? It is collaborative and it does get the job done because we're taking multiple different concepts. Remember, this is Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. We're taking multiple concepts that you're already familiar with in order to do something that is significant that you've not been able to do prior. What that goal is would be a free vacation. What that goal would be is to get a slightly better internship or DJ yourself into a job. These concepts are not complicated. These concepts are what they don't teach you in school. Good morning. How are you guys? I am going to actually pin your comment. Because five-way, three-way, one-way. What are we talking about? Entrepreneurship, Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. It started off as a joke to give you some backdrop. It started off as a sequel concept to Hot Girl Sales Club. And it's for everybody, but it was funny because it was initially Shelby Sapp going from zero YouTube account to superstardom. Not from a likes and subscribers standpoint, but from a monetary energy collection standpoint. I hate saying the word million or millionaire, so this will be the last time I say it. I will replace that with stick. So if 99 sticks is $99 million, selling your company for 1,000 sticks is a unicorn. 1,000, 1 millions is a billion. These words paralyze people because we see the fraud of other people getting to financial goals by cheating. Now let us escape zero by doing Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. Because so much of the education is geared towards millions 4 through 2 billion. So all of education within entrepreneurship is a little bit too lofty. That's what they don't teach you at Y Combinator. What we want to do is we want to do small, succinct things that can be replicated. Small, specific things that we can draw out. And the video will culminate into that diagram. But initially, let's hit some basic bullet points so that way we can dip in, dip out, and then get to a base camp is really what we're after. Some of these bullet points are these. Doing a joke franchise or a sequel business. Remember, this room is called Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. It's from Hot Girl Sales Club. What we're doing is we're doing chapter 69 of a book. You don't have to read chapters 1 through 64. I'll just give you the summary on this video, which is this. Being able to do a sequel business ensures success. Why? Because you're springboarding and you're slingshotting from a concept that mitigates almost all of your risk. Plus, it's a joke. This is why American entrepreneurship is the best. This is also why American comedy, that's also the best. When we iterate, when we build atop of something, that's a joke franchise. And look at the joke franchises that have spun out of our time together. Look at how we've been able to do a sequel business. So, another bullet point for a sequel business and a joke franchise is, can you get ROI for a trip, a business conference, before you go on one? And oh my God, let's say you've never been on a business trip before. Or on the flip side, let's say you've been on 500 business trips before. Either way, this concept will greatly benefit you, which is, now that we have AI and social media, we should be able to get ROI for that business trip prior to that business trip. That's what they don't teach you at YC. What you're saying is completely and totally accurate. And this is why it's semi-unpopular, but that's okay. Why? Because once we do pen to paper, we're literally able to map out a concluding diagram that if you draw this on your wall, this will be miraculous for your career. Literally miraculous, no hyperbole. Why is it Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club? Why? It's this. hot girls are able to pay attention longer. It's counterintuitive because normally it's the average girls that have attention deficit disorder. Why? Because it's scarcity mindset. It's I have to get more men into my brain. Whereas inside of Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, it's like, oh my gosh, there's too much men trying to attack me for attention, but being able to focus and be in the moment, knowing that anytime you want to turn the spigot on, you can just have as much as you want. This is the inherent counterintuitive truth that they don't teach you in school nor YC. And for us to be able to jump into next bullet point, which is attention deficit disorder is okay. Why? Because you can jump in and out of this video and get little fortune cookie size tidbits on what it means to become slightly better within entrepreneurship. And that's attention deficit reordered is this: Texas Institute Technology and Sciences, TITS. And so TIT's okay that you've got attention deficit disorder because now we can focus on one thing, which is back on this diagram, May 5 and May 6. Think about it as a free trip to Orlando. Oh, I don't want to go to Orlando. I want to go to Miami. Step one, Orlando. This is what we're doing. We're asking ourselves the question, if artificial intelligence is so great, have you been able to make money from it? Have you? And almost always the answer is 100% no. Why? Because you haven't read the essay, What Altair Basic Is This the Microsoft of? Because you want to hunt for problems. Solution is, how do I use AI to help other people get return on investment? That's winning. Which, let's bring that point all the way home. So, live action business case study 1459, this little dotted circle area. This dotted circle area for LABCS 1459. And inside of this area is live action business case study 1459. And notice our mental state of mind when I say 1459. Because when you see life as an Easter egg hunt, you furiously scramble to write down 1459. And when you just let it wash over your head, you're literally letting entrepreneurship go over your head. Whereas I'm giving you an incredibly specific play number. And that play number is how to get a free trip to Orlando. How excited are you? Because May 5 and May 6 are two incredibly specific days. Our executives focused on this. They're not at all. That is to your benefit. Why? Because now you're working on something that other people don't know about yet. And when you work on something that other people don't know about, and eventually they do know about it, who benefits? You do. This is what AI was supposed to do, which is help us become more productive and make more money. Now all we do is sit and marvel at like, oh my God, this stuff's just massively amazing, and you're paralyzed. It's like watching the Chinese dude do magic tricks, and you're like, oh my God, that dude in a cowboy hat, he's too magical. I don't know what to do. Whereas these magical things are for us to be able to win at entrepreneurship. Attention deficit disorder is okay. We want to hone our hot girl brain into becoming slightly more disciplined with expanding on a prior. That's Orlando, May 5 through May 6. If you live in Orlando or have friends in Orlando, text me. DMs, Hannah and Ashley. When I say DM, I think Instagram spam. What does this look like? This looks like an Easter egg. So, what they don't teach you at YC is dropping Easter egg messages like this. Look at this. This looks like a demonstratively awesome way to drop an IRL DM. And when you do that, people's brains explode and they're like, ooh, what is that? You're doing handwriting, you're doing messaging, you're doing winning with entrepreneurship and with handwritten notes, which is what they don't do at YC, which is win at dropping Easter eggs, because we don't want to be the Easter egg hunter. I mean, we do, but we later, when we're really good at hunting for Easter eggs, we want to start laying Easter eggs. Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, direct messaging, direct contact. Is this also how Taylor Swift started, using UPS packages to send to DJs? Yes. Just because late stage Taylor Swift may not be that popular, early stage Taylor Swift, Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, winning. Calendar. All we're trying to do, all we're micro doing, small steps, is gamifying the calendar by reading ahead in the calendar. It's front running the calendar. And you don't have to go to Harvard or Stanford in order to front run the calendar, where the concept that's literally at the 7th grade level is, can you predict that May 5 and May 6 are coming up? Can you predict that April 26 and 28 are also coming up? In the same way that I predicted that next year's Super Bowl is going to be played in Santa Clara on February 7th, on Sunday, 2026. Santa Clara is a city just south of Palo Alto, California. It's got a bunch of tech companies. You can rent out their parking lot in order to win at going to the Super Bowl and not having to pay for the week of trade show events that is the Super Bowl. That's front running the calendar. That's an API into Google Calendar. And because we are winning at entrepreneurship, why are you guys not liking this stuff that's your own self in the future? Notice how when you don't like things, what happens? You're not cheering. And when you're not cheering, you're not doing page 149 of 4 Steps to the Epiphany. Hey, page 149, it is cheerleading, because once you're going negative, going, oh, that company's not so good. Oh, Larry Chang, he's not so great. That's page 124 and 136 of The Rational Male, where you're trying to out alpha an alpha male by being a beta cuck, beta female, just a non-boss babe. Page 149. God, this video just slays. Why? Because PQRST, the pivotal skill within Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. PQRST. Which is what? Preview, question, read, summarize, test. What we're doing by reading our first book in the last 3 years, cover to cover, is we're not just reading it one time. We're actually reading the book 4 times. P is where we preview the whole book. Then we add questions to, hey, what's the author talking about? Then we read the book while asking questions of what's going on. And then we summarize, test the book. This is a flagship concept that we have to have if we're going to succeed at Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. How do we do a 3-way? Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's Book Club Roulette. 2 girls, 1 Larry Chang, and we all read 1 book, 3 minutes apiece. This is book club on a energized front, which is book roulette. It's like Russian roulette where 3 people have 1 gun, but book roulette and reading roulette is 1 book, 2 girls, 1 Larry Chang. And we take turns like innings, 3 minutes apiece of reading that same book. And the other 2 people, they have to watch the one person read for 3 minutes. After the 3 minutes are up, we then switch to the next person. And the other 2 people, you can't touch your phone, you can't do anything other than stare at the other person reading. You can try to distract them from reading, but that would hone our ability to read during our inning, our turn of 3-minute iterations of reading the 1 book. 2 girls, 1 Larry Chang, 1 book. And what this does is it helps us practice our focus when people are trying to distract us. We go through 9 turns. We each read for 27 minutes. And after these 9 innings, 9 turns of reading 3 minutes apiece, notice how our brain becomes super natural, superhuman. Are we talking about the Rohit email app? More so, because now you're able to speed read when other people are not distracting us, because when 2 people are semi-distracting us, that's winning at reading roulette. That's winning at PQRST. That's winning at money prior to Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. A notebook to journal in. This is critical. So what they don't teach at Y Combinator is to carry around a little notebook as if you're a 40-year-old. And here I've even bookmarked Cadaver based on a Weston Post-it note that was given in the hotel. What you're doing when people talk and you whip out a notebook, this is actually your third brain. Remember, your brain is your brain. Your second brain is your stomach. Your third brain is your penis or your vagina or whatever sexual accoutrement that you happen to be rocking. Your fourth brain is your butt brain, which your butt back pocket is carrying a notebook. Those are the 4 brains that we have, and when we put pen to paper, our brains wire better, because what wires together fires together, and when you're wiring and firing, you're also making money. So that's journaling, and now you've got a small piece of paper that becomes a large piece of paper, because now you're taking a little piece of paper, photocopying it, and then adding more notes. What they don't teach you at StartX, Stanford StartX, is a little piece of paper becomes a big piece of paper. So what happens is you take a photocopy, and that's a little piece of paper photocopied onto a bigger piece of paper. Now this bigger piece of paper, you add additional notes to. What are you doing? It's a visual expansion on a prior. What are you doing with entrepreneurship? You are taking a problem that they uttered, iterated, they being the prospect, they being the client, and you're expanding on it to show a level of understanding, care, attention, and execution, and follow up and expansion on a prior, so that way they get ROI for giving you 38 sticks for whatever thing that you concocted. Now you can see why I run shit so well in Silicon Valley that I'm doing 3 5-hour keynotes at Cal State University Fullerton, where who gives a 15-hour keynote? Like, that's just weird. But that's what expansions on priors with citations and how it works within entrepreneurship at the $0 level, meaning you're a business virgin. Let's help you excel at Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. What questions do you have? Let's move right along. 99 Days of Christmas. Today is day number 98 of the 99 Days of Christmas. What are the 99 Days of Christmas? It's a sequel joke franchise to the 12 Days of Christmas, which is a sequel. 99 Days of Christmas is a sequel to 12 Days of Open AI, which is a sequel to unofficial 21 days of Open AI at South by Southwest, which starts on March 7. Unofficial 23 days of Open AI. Sam Altman and Elon Musk might be fighting right now, but that's okay, because our concept for unofficial 23 days of Open AI, it starts March 7th and it goes until March 15th. Yes, it's a hilarious joke franchise, but let's say you're lost right now and you're like, oh my God, this is so much information. I had no idea that inside of Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, this could get that complicated. This is what it takes to win at entrepreneurship at the unicorn level or at the pre-zero, pre-revenue level. And so you can dip in wherever you want. Why? Because you can dictate your own pace. So the micro little thing that we can do is something that's pre-entrepreneurial, something that is just a practice for, like, almost like a pop-up internship. But if you're a seasoned executive, just look at this as the first video that you're going to bookmark and expand on a prior, and even intellectually challenge me to say, hey, I'm not quite sure that that's correct. Because once you do that, then we'll have a conversation. Or better, you can say, Larry, your brain is what I'm going to load into my brain, because prior to meeting you, I had 11 chefs trying to coach me on entrepreneurship and coach me on doing a franchise business. Now I'm going to install the Larry Chang brain programming. That's 11 chefs in the kitchen to 1 chef in the kitchen. Cool, right? I did a session that was 18 minutes long on breathing in through 2 nostrils, breathing out through 2 nostrils for 18 minutes, and I loaded it up at Y Combinator, what they don't teach you. Weaving a quilt is a concept of quilting, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to patchwork assemble some existing YouTube videos that maybe you've already previously watched. Not necessarily my videos. Hi, I'm Larry Chang. Nice to hang out with you guys. We can practice quilting using not the entire book of Tina Seelig Ingenious. We can just do one page. Am I showing off? A little bit, because page 172 is the concept of quilting together ideas in her book Ingenious. What are we quilting together? We're quilting together APIs. We're quilting together ideas, application protocol interfaces. Remember, this is the culmination slide for our video today. And all this is DJing together 3 APIs into one triangle, where on the one side we've got EUTWM PPM, on another side we've got corn, and then on the other side we've got API. And what this is just where we perform magic tricks. This magic trick doesn't work 98% of the time. This magic trick works every time, 99% of the time. This is what typically gets said when I present this magic trick. People will literally utter, "Oh my God, I can't do this because I'll be able to do in 1 week what my family in a third world country makes in 5 generations." How do you think I know this? Because this is not my first rodeo. It's not. And people feel so guilty when they make magic happen. Speaking of making magic happen, I know you're enjoying hanging out with me. Why are my likes at such a low amount? Not that you don't like me, because this is what's going on. You're secretly liking it, but then now you can't press the button. You can't press that button, and that's why you're not liking me. You're not liking yourself in the future, because this is a conversation that you should be loving. And when you're hesitant to like it, now you're telling me that you're not able to press the button. Together, we're going to press a lot of buttons. Is this Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club with innuendo? No, it is not. This is DJing APIs together, where you'll visit this video maybe in 5 days, 5 hours, 5 minutes, 5 lifetimes. I don't know. But this video is just basic true stuff that, should you hesitate, it's weaving together a quilt. It's weaving together a quilt that is going to get confusing when you don't put pen to paper. So just take a screenshot of this, and if you can just get one side of the triangle, do you like my screen share? If you can just get one side of the triangle, in fact, do corn, do popcorn, just do corn. And then later, for the next time, you'll pick up hashtag LABCS, hashtag LABCS 1459. That's MicroStrategy. That's May 5 to May 6. What you don't want to do is go video to video saying, I want generally the genius idea. Generally summarize, synopsis, and conclude for me what this video was on. I gave you the video, which is a specific number, live action business case study 1459. Why is that number important? That number is important because it's specifically connected to MicroStrategy, which has a joke franchise called Michael Strategy. And what we're doing is we're running a live action business case study that is a sequel to Overstock. Live action business case study 1451. And because we're doing the connection between 9 and 1, now you might be asking the question, well, what's 2? 2 is GameStop, where GameStop is live action business case study 1452. What's 3? 3 is AMC. Is this genius content? Yes. And I can't stop and I won't stop LABCS 1459, which is the agenda for Bitcoin for corporations. This is Treasury operations doing zero coupon bonds with no recourse. This is what they don't teach you at Stanford Board of Director Governance 2025. This is year 2025 still, right? Where that's not there. But guess what? 2029, it will be going in. Why? It's just a little prediction. This is front running. Most people do a book club the way that they're just trying to get general ideas that are life-changing. And it's the practice of getting into specifics. That's what our book club is getting incredibly specific. Let's, instead of doing book club, let's do something unique, which is let's do video club, where instead of study buddying a book, we study buddy a video. And it doesn't have to be a Larry Chang video. Hi, I'm Larry. We can do a Mark McCormack video or a Jim Rohn video or a Maxwell Maltz video. And we can study buddy it together so that way we practice expansion on a prior. What they don't teach you at YC is that you actually don't need to apply. You can be recruited. Since this room is Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, we can realize that Jessica Ma did not ever have to apply to YC. She verbally got recruited because I introduced her to a YC partner, Jessica Ma in Dinero. And when we're able to text integrate together, that's Jessica Ma getting recruited from Larry Chang, getting recruited into Y Combinator. That's the sequel business to Indinero, which is hashtag CMMASFM. What is Indinero? It gives you accounting data as it relates to getting the proper ratios in your inbox. And we even have a stuffed animal logo, which is a starfish. Why a starfish? Because CMMASFM explains the concept of, can you tell the difference between your butt and a hole in the ground or a starfish? Because it turns out most people cannot. That's why we're using a starfish. Plus, we want to slap an animal in it and then make it slay. Because some of the stuff gets super complicated, but if we have a cute little starfish to work with, you get more attention span. And that's why Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club works. Why? Because hot girls will sit there and take it because they're like, there's no way that this is all BS. And after you sit in it for a while, then everything begins to totally make sense. And then it only totally begins to make sense if you're a hot girl. And I don't know why that concept is the way that it is, but I'm not going to complain because that's why I've embraced the fact that the only people that understand what I'm talking about are hot girls. If you understand, you're a hot girl. If you're confused, you're like a 5'4" beta male that's like, I don't get what he's saying and I don't have time for this. That's why it's Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. I'm going to win with the winners versus not winning with people that don't want to win. And maybe you want to prove me wrong, then let's go. Because last time I checked, Sam Altman's like 5'4" and beta-ish. Let's win with the next point, which is Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club is genius. Thank you. It's actually not all me. It's from Shelby Sapp, Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. That's me. Shelby Sapp is Hot Girl Sales Club. So that's where it came from. And also, it came from Lisa Falzone and Caroline Rodriguez and Stanford Women in Business. Because when I spoke at SWIB, Stanford Women in Business, how many billionaires do you think I catalyzed? Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. It's a license to just win. What do I mean by that with that confidence? This works every time. Am I going to be selling you something? Okay, I'll sell you something. Pay me $750,000 when you're a billionaire. Okay, done. Sales pitch over. Now we can just win. Because this is just a collaboration. I've not met you before in real life. Well, actually, some people that come onto my streams, I have met in real life. Being able to assemble a plan, even more basic, the most basic. Can you take one video of my regurgitations of two people in order for you to get slightly better? I almost said double your value, but if your net worth is below $0, doubling it does not improve. Let's take one video and this video, and let's you and I study buddy my mentor's content. Mark McCormack, reverse rebate model. Mark McCormack, EUTWMPPM. Mark McCormack, Guagua guacamole recipe number 23, which is external API. External API. So we're running Guagua guacamole recipe number 23, external API. And so when we do one video where we get better, you have just come to a YouTube video, grown, and then gotten better. Also, when we're hanging out, do you never take notes or do you just take a couple lines of notes? Because this video is going to turn into this much blog post content. And so when your notes don't match my notes, what happens is you are going to not acquire my knowledge. Because when we together are hive minding and Vulcan minding, now you're able to take something that took me equivalent, I want to say 10 years to do. what seemingly seems like, oh, it was so easy for him to generate that stuff, seemingly so effortless. Like he's just making stuff up. He's being funny with his delivery of entrepreneurship knowledge. It's not comedic for comedy's effect alone, it's the interruption of what you're expecting, which is dry entrepreneurship content. This is winning at entrepreneurship. Why? Because I took the time to add comedy to it. Are you guys intimidated? Don't be. It's just starting. Are you guys nervous about how awesome this is? Because that's normal. Let's wrap with a recap for what we talked about so that way we can springboard forward in our pre-entrepreneurship pregame, which is Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. It came from Hot Girl Sales Club. We can take AI and ask it a question. How does this get return on investment for somebody else's expenses? Because once we solve somebody else's return on investment, the money will come pouring into us. If we stay in our own head, we do not benefit. This applies very much to the advice that we got as hot people, because the advice that we got is this: when you're arrogant and when you're hot and you're shy, you get perceived as arrogant. Let me repeat this. When you're an attractive person and you're shy, people don't think that you're shy and hot. People just think that you're too good for them. That is being too much in your own head. So, as a hot person, you need to be extra friendly. And what this does is this gets you out of your own head. Are we talking about Maxwell Maltz psycho-cybernetics? Yes, because once we leave our own head and go into other people's heads, now we're able to program other humans. Are we coding computers? Yeah, but it's the coding a computer of another person. I'm going to program you and do a magic trick on selling you something. No, I'm programming you to get return on investment so that way your company benefits, and then consider paying me a portion of that. That's what we're programming our brains to do from one Larry Chang video to one Larry Chang video. Hi, have we hung out before? It's cool that we're hanging out now. What this entails is leaving our own head where we're not just trying to solve our own problems. We're trying to solve someone else's problems using AI. There's this website. It's called Let Me Google That For You, back when executives would not be able to search very well. So the old one was Let Me Google That For You. The new one is Let Me AI That For You and calculate how to get your return on investment while wrangling you into paying me money for doing a sequence of APIs that are seemingly easy to do from a seventh grader standpoint. Last topic: less than minimum viable party. Being a guest is like being an audience member. We want to go from the back of the room to the front of the room where we're keynoting. And if public speaking is scary, hosting a party is even more scary. But if you host a party one time for 11 minutes, your skill set will triple because you'll end up being a better guest. You'll end up being a better guest by hosting. An 11-minute party, you can't go that wrong. And is it embarrassing to host an 11-minute party? No, it's incredibly innovative, and that's what we can do inside of exercise number 1, which is guacamole recipe number 4, which is host an 11-minute party because it'll absolutely sell out, and then the endorphins and the chemical rush from your pineal gland from producing an 11-minute party is a snowball rolling down the hill. Are we talking about uh, Alice's book Snowball? That's the Warren Buffett biography. Snowball rolling down a hill, chapter 65. Columbia as a springboard. Chapter 66, which is Michael Saylor doing EUTWM PPMM. Chapter 67 is actually chapter 19, which is the Bitcoin wave. Chapter 68 is chapters 19 through 33 of the Bitcoin wave. Chapter 69 is faux franchise. Chapter 70 is being able to save 6.15 Bitcoin, which will be $1 million easy. That's the snowball effect of expanding on a prior. So this is your entry point. This is your entry point. That's your entry point. It's been great spending time with you guys. I'm Larry Chang. I drop new episodes on Thursdays. Today is Tuesday. So subscribe, and then we can connect for a future thing. Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, you guys did a great job. Seriously. You guys did a great job at hanging out for so long. What we're doing is something that is magical because we're coding our algorithm. We're changing how the algorithm gives us information because we're coding what we're putting in to our social media feed. Because we can either give away our attention for free, or we can literally DJ up and code what we want. And is this outlandishly awesome? It's pretty awesome. Why? When we go from program E to program it's like that have fun staying poor slogan, which is, will you learn to code? And that's the money component of the algorithm. Is there are two sides to the algorithm. People who get programmed, those are the non-player characters, and the people who code. That's us inside of Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. And so we together are able to affect and code our own future. This is chapters 1 through 14 of Joe Dispenza, that $4,500 workshop that is return on investment before you go to the $4,500 Joe Dispenza workshop. This is ROI for Hot Girl Sales Club before people pay Shelby Sapp $2,997. This is ROI for anything where we don't spend $4,500 until we make $4,500. It doesn't get any easier, and you guys being able to focus for that long is amazing. Orlando, text me friends of yours that currently live in Orlando, because on, I almost said October 5th, on May 5th, there's going to be an amazing event at the Hilton. So if your friends are looking for jobs or wanting to network with high net worth individuals, Hilton Hotel Orlando. Nerdy, yes. May 5th. Awesome, definitely. The other thing, because we're spitballing here, is this. May 4 is the pregame day. And so, pregaming the Nobu launch party, which, oh my God. So, Carissa Ashman, Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, right? Epiphany Hotel launch party, which became Nobu. You should mark yourself as a non-employee co-founder of Nobu Hotel because you're there at Epiphany Hotel. Inside of Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, Chris Ashman, good job for attending the Epiphany Hotel launch party because you can mark yourself as a non-employee co-founder of Nobu Hotel. Why? Because we were there when it was Epiphany, and we are the ones who came up with, hey, let's do a Nobu pop-up inside of Fork and Thistle. Am I giving you a co-founder credit because I'm the co-founder of Nobu? Yes. And do you see why Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club will have whales popping in? Because Carissa Ashman, thank you for hanging out. And do you realize Epiphany Hotel turning into Nobu was a multi-billion-dollar launch party that we just went to because we're friends with Chip and the Pritzker family. This is why Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club is so magical, because it turns out the people that learn the most from these kind of videos are established people. I want to try to help people get off of zero who are mediocre looking, who are not going anywhere in life. That's like, why not? But it turns out when I meet people in the real world, they're always hot and smart. And so I don't get why it's just Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. But guess what? I've leaned into the fact that it's only hot people that are smart that want to learn. Okay? I can't help it. Like I can is it me? Do I rub you the right way? Oh my God. Jokes. Epiphany Hotel turning into Nobu via a pop-up. This is what a joke franchise is, because we asked initially as a joke for, hey, Nobu, do you want to do a pop-up inside of the existing restaurant, Fork and Thistle? Oh yeah, we'll do 2 nights a week. Nobu. What's next for us to do? What's next for you to do? This isn't just hang out and hope that like you get to date Larry Chang. This is not that. The putty pattern is full. How do you guys next do something that is entrepreneurial, that is a landmark, legendary thing that you'll never forget? Let's make a memory. Let's make a lifetime memory. What is that thing? You have my cell phone number. Spend 5 minutes. Spend 5 minutes. Spend 5 minutes and ask yourself, what is this Carissa Ashman moment for me in being co-founder of Nobu? What is that thing? What is that thing? Because you're standing on the shoulders of Whitney Wolfe, billionaire. You're standing on the shoulders of Sarah Blakely, billionaire. Well, standing on the shoulders of Lisa Falzone, billionaire. Hot blonde billionaire. Caroline Rodriguez, upcoming Shelby Sapp. Blonde billionaires, batting 1,000. What they don't teach at YC is, what is this Carissa Ashman experience going to springboard you into co-founding your own Nobu? What is it? Because if you spend 5 minutes and then say, hey, Larry, it's me from your Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, insert your name. This is what I spent 5 minutes thinking on. Because when you mentioned quilting, when you mentioned Orlando, when you mentioned Book Club Video Club, when you mentioned Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, when you mentioned Hot Girl Sales Club, when you mentioned artificial intelligence and how I used it to write 5 blog articles prior to attending YC Demo Day, I was able to get a free trip. I was able to plan and use PQRST to get some government to DEI my ass into Sundance Film Festival or the Super Bowl or New York Fashion Week. Because what did I do to promote my mentor's book after he passed away in 2003, in 2006, at New York Fashion Week, where I pre-rolled his book from 2006 to 2009 with another Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, Marissa Mayer. My God, I keep forgetting you. Zach Bogue, okay? Your wife is adorbs. I love you too, buddy. So, Marissa Mayer put my... Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. Marissa Mayer, if somebody's soundbook clipping this to you, thank you for loading up my mentor's book on September 9, 2009 on 090909. Who promotes his mentor's book from 2006 to 2009? Are you fucking joking? Yes. On the runways at New York Fashion Week. Who started New York Fashion Week? My mentor did. Was it a joke franchise? I don't know, but it was pretty useful. While I'm raining down Hilton breakfast coupons. Where did these come from? I think they literally dropped out of my ass. Are these breakfast coupons what we're doing to close breakfast? Because closing deals at breakfast is what they don't teach you at YC. Did these just drop out of my butt? I think they did. This is what we're doing in Orlando. And so, Marissa Mayer, thank you for loading up my book, my mentor's book, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School, 090909. My God, how many blonde billionaires am I friends with? Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, comma, day 98 of the 99 days of Christmas.